car brand logos are more than just symbols. They represent history, identity, and the sense of belonging to all their owners and fans. And each time one of them rebrands, it's a huge undertaking. Now, these rebrands are oftentimes received very poorly. Take a look at BMW's rebrand that they've done recently. People seem to hate it, but the logo was just modernized. And the same thing applies for a lot of other brands. Now, in today's video, I want to try and redesign 3 car brand logos that I feel need redesigning. Now, I totally understand that this is a touchy subject, and this is my first video, so please be gentle. Thank you. Let's go. Okay, for this first one, we're going to be doing Hyundai's logo, and I'm just going to drop it in here. Now, while I do think their logo is decent, and I feel like they're the only company that hasn't rebranded in the past couple of years, I feel that they're going to minimize this logo in probably next 2 or 3 years. So what I want to do is sort of keep the sort of oral badge layout, but simplify this logo mark. And Hyundai claims that this is supposed to be 2 people in a handshake. I don't personally see it, but if they say so, I'm just gonna put this text to the side for now. And I'm gonna make this oval that's the same size as the actual logo mark. I'm gonna scale it down like this so we get the inner shape of the mark. And I'm gonna use the shape builder tool to cut out all of these parts here. Now we're left with this. Well, I think this can probably work on its own. I think we can definitely make it even more modern. So what I want to do is pull these in so these are not angled like this, and let's get these last ones. Perfect. I quite like this. Now what I want to do is get this to be not as blobby as it is, so not as ovally as it is, but more angular, because I feel that's sort of where they're probably going to go with the redesign. So let's just try and draw something like this, perhaps, and then a sharper angled line here until we get something like this. And let's see how that looks. I think we can fix this. I'm gonna make it a different color just so I can see sort of how it's looking, so I can see the changes that we're making. And I'm gonna make it 50% in opacity, and then I'm gonna grab this and sort of pull until we are happy with how it's looking. So I think this is pretty nice. I'm gonna bring back in the opacity and change the color to what it's supposed to be so we can see. And I feel like it's looking kind of natural now, so I'm just gonna go and pull this even more, and also like this. I am quite liking it like this. I'm gonna go really quickly and just merge these, and since they're gonna be equal top and bottom, I'm just gonna go and draw a rectangle, so like right this here in the middle, and I'm just gonna use the shape builder tool to cut off the bottom. We're gonna duplicate this, go to transform, reflect, we're gonna do vertical, and we're also gonna do horizontal, and then we're just gonna line these bad boys in, and we're left with something like, it doesn't have to be perfect, this is not client work, right? So we're left with something like this. So for the type, I kind of want to keep the same font style, but I want it to be more bold and also condensed like this. Now I found this really cool font called Microgramma Bold, and I'm just gonna make it -75 for the tracking, and we're gonna create outlines, change the color of the text, and I'm gonna size the mark so it's the same height as these letters. Now I don't want to make, as you can see, the original Hyundai's logo has these sharp corners for the letters that can accommodate them, but I don't want to do that, so I just want to make some small changes for this. As you can see, the N has these weird thingies and the Y has these weird thingies, so I do want to change those. So let's just go and change them, and there we go. So this is the, just put this back end, this is the old logo, and we got the new one, the updated one, the better version. And here's how it all can look in action. the second one, I want to do Ford's logo because this is what they're using right now. So I kind of want to, I understand the appeal of this logo. I understand the legacy of this logo, but I feel like they're definitely going to have to rebrand with all the new cars they're getting out and all the modern, designs and lines and everything. So what I think we can do is we can take this that's on the front of some of their trucks. So namely the, I think, Raptor, F-150, the regular one, and some other trucks. And I feel we can adapt it to sort of be more dynamic. And I found this image here that has the text outline. So what I want to do is I'm going to go to image trace and I'm just going to expand this, and I'm just going to remove the white background here, remove the white background here, here, and here. Now I want to use this as a base to sort of paste our logo around it. Now what we want to do, obviously these lines are very jagged because they're taken from an SVG, or actually a PNG that we've traced. So what I want to do is create sort of building blocks for this so I can use them to form this new logo. Now the building blocks that we're going to use are going to be these thick lines, and I'm just going to make them black for now, but I think we're going to keep them in black as is. Now we're going to make them the same height as this right here, and I also want to use sort of the second line that's going to be for this top portion of these letters. So we're going to make it this thick. Now we're going to recreate all the letters using just these two shapes and then these indents that we're going to put in later. Now I'm going to do F with you guys, and I'm going to do the rest of the letters off camera, sort of. Now I'm just going to use the sort of bigger, thicker line here, and then for the F, I'm just going to drag the thinner lines in like this, and we have our F. And I'm gonna try to keep the sort of letter thicknesses the same all around. So I'm just gonna use this for the O. So we're just gonna put this here. Actually, I think it goes to here, and we're just gonna do the same thing for we're just gonna copy this and put it right here. We're gonna line these in, and we've got our O. And we're gonna do the same thing for the R, but we're gonna make it sort of in the shape of an A, and then we're gonna cut the inner parts later. And I'm pretty much just gonna copy the O to form the D, because we can sort of stylize them in a different ways to get the D shape. Now I do want to make small tweaks to this so the letters are equally spaced, obviously, and everything, but let's first combine all of these. So we're going to merge these shapes in. Let's just see if this is the same width as this. It doesn't have to be perfect for now because we're not obviously doing this as a client project. So I do want to make this the same width, and we're just going to put it back in, do that, and we're going to copy this one once more, sort of like that. So we have all of these shapes, and I'm just gonna go to a line, and we're gonna distribute them equally. Now what I want to do is just take this triangle shape and sort of try to stylize the letters to better match like these indents that all of these letters had. So what we want to do is just put it like right here, and then we're gonna cut these in the end, and I think it's gonna look really, really cool and sort of pay homage to that text that we previously had. So we're gonna do the same thing for the O. We're gonna do it for every corner of the O, actually, by just putting this here and going to transform, reflect, and literally just reflecting it vertically. And then we're gonna do the same thing here. We're just gonna copy and paste these in. I'm gonna go to transform, reflect horizontally, and we're left with this. Now we do have to move these down just a tad, and we're left with the O that's very similar to this. Now for the R, I want to do something that's kind of different. Now what I want to do is definitely, I'm gonna put this here so we get something like this. These are not perfectly spaced, so I'm gonna fix this in the end, but just so you can get a general idea, we're gonna take the same one and we're just gonna put it like this. We've got a perfect R aside from this, but we are gonna fix that by just doing this. As I said, this doesn't have to be exactly perfect, and there we go. For the D, we can just copy these two and literally just put them like here. Now legibility does suffer a little bit here, but I think for the essence and for the the aesthetics, I mean, this looks just perfect. Now we're just gonna cut these out, and I think that's it. Wait, we didn't cut this one out. And there we go. The last thing that we need to do is sort of, let's compare these two, and I'm going to put this in the Ford blue color. So like this, I think it makes I think it makes a lot of sense to pay homage to, you know, the color that I had. I think the blue is very iconic, but let me know what you think. Do you prefer this? Do you like this? I know that this is very different from what I had, but an actual rebrand is due in the next year or so, and here are some use cases of how this could potentially look like. That's it for today's video. Please like, share, and subscribe. Peace.